Good morning, boys and girls. These are the lessons for Monday, April 6th. I'm going to do things just a little bit different this week. It'll be similar to how we do things in the classroom, and I'm going to do several subjects together, and when you need to take a break, you can just hit pause, and I'll explain that as we go along. We're going to start this morning with Bible, just like we would at school. And this week is leading up to Easter. Easter will be on Sunday. So I wanted to take the time every day this week and do a devotional that is part of the Easter story. And so I'd like to show you that I'm going to be reading from this book called Ergemeyer's Bible Storybook. And the part that I'm going to be reading from today is called The Last Supper with the 12. Now, as you can see, the story that I'm reading from today is taken from Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, each of the Gospels. And we talked about back at Christmas how each one of these men represent the same stories in their books, and they're just different details because it's from their point of view and what happened to them. And so it's good to read in each of them their accounts of what happened. And so that's what we'll be looking at today as it's been collected in this book. So here we go. The Last Supper with the 12. Where shall we go to prepare the Passover meal? The disciples asked Jesus. Jesus told Peter and John, go into the city, and there you will meet a man carrying a pitcher of water. Follow him. When he goes into his house, say to him, where is the guest room where Jesus is to eat the Passover with his disciples? The two went their way. It was as Jesus had said. The owner of the house led them to an upstairs room. Probably he knew Jesus and was glad to have him use the guest room. When evening came, Jesus and the other 10 joined Peter and John. A feeling of sadness crept over them when Jesus said that this was his last supper with them. Would Jesus really be taken away from them? It seemed impossible to think men ever could kill him. And soon they were talking about other matters at the supper table. Some wondered who would be the greatest in Jesus' kingdom. They did not understand his teachings. Jesus knew their thoughts and wanted to teach them more about his kingdom. He got up from the table, took off his outer coat, and tied a towel around his waist. Taking a basin of water, he began to wash their feet. The disciples looked at each other in surprise. Why should Jesus do this? They had washed their feet before coming into the upper room. Peter pulled his feet away from Jesus and exclaimed, Lord, you shall never wash my feet. If I wash you not, said Jesus, you shall never have a part in my kingdom. But Peter wanted a part in Jesus' kingdom. He said, Lord, wash not only my feet, but also my hands and my head. When the washing was over, Jesus laid aside the towel and put on his coat again. He explained, you call me Lord and Master, and so I am. If I, your Lord and Master, have washed your feet, you ought to wash one another's feet. For I have given you an example that you should do to each other as I have done to you. The servant is not greater than his master. And if you would be good servants, you will obey my words. If you know my commands, you will be happy when you obey them. Being troubled, Jesus said, "One of you will betray me." "How could this be?" the disciples began asking. "Lord, is it I?" Jesus said, "It is the one to whom I shall give this piece of bread when I have dipped it." Jesus gave the bread to Judas Iscariot and said, "Whatever you do, do quickly." Immediately, Judas left the room and went out into the night. The disciples did not understand because Judas took care of the money. They thought he was going to do something for Jesus. After supper, Jesus took bread, offered thanks, broke the bread in pieces, and gave each disciple a piece. "Take this bread and eat it, for it is my body which is broken for you." Then he took the cup. When he had given thanks, he passed it to them, saying, "Drink this, for it is my blood, which is shed for you. I will never again drink of the fruit of the vine with you until that day when I drink it new in the kingdom of God." Jesus told them that he would soon die and leave them alone. They should not be afraid. "After I am risen, I will go before you into Galilee." Peter said, "Lord, I'll never leave you." Jesus answered, "This night, before the cock crows, you will deny me 3 times. Then Jesus and his disciples sang a hymn together, left the upper room, and went to the Garden of Gethsemane. There's a picture in the Bible of them eating the Last Supper. Now we'll continue our Easter devotional tomorrow. Right now, if you want to take a break, you can stand and stretch. Maybe you can sing the hymn of the month or recite Joshua 1, verses 5 through 7. We're going to go on to math when you come back. Maybe you want to take this time right now after you've done those things, or just to take out your math facts and do them like we would in school, because we're moving into math and that's usually what we do first. So hit pause and then I'll see you when we come back. Welcome back, boys and girls. We're going to move on to math, and today we are talking about weight. And weight is the heaviness of something. We've been doing lots of measuring. We started with measuring length. Then we went on to measuring capacity, how much something holds. And now we're moving into weight, the heaviness of something. Each time we measure something, we have different units. With the length, we had inches or feet or centimeters or meters. With capacity, we had cups, pints, quarts, and gallons, or milliliters and liters. And today we're going to study in weight, U.S. customary units of the heaviness of something, and we're going to study ounces and pounds. I want to show you something funny over here. If you could see, I wrote out the word ounce. Sometimes you might not want to write the whole word out, and so it has an abbreviation. The abbreviation for ounce is OZ. I think that is pretty funny considering there's not a Z in the word. Mrs. Schultz does not know how that came to be, but that is the abbreviation, and you'll see it on items that might be in your kitchen, and maybe later today you'll find them. Let's look at pound. If you don't want to write out the word pound, this is the abbreviation for pound. lowercase l, lowercase b. Isn't that funny? None of those letters, neither one of those letters are found in this word, yet that is how we abbreviate it. So I think it's important for you to recognize these abbreviations because that's what you'll often see on items at the store, in your pantry, or in your kitchen, and I want you to know what it means. All right, so we're going to talk about the weight of items, and we're going to today particularly talk about an ounce and a pound. So I want to show you some items. I'm going to put my board down and we're going to look at the things I have on the table. Okay, first I want to start off with some things that you might find at your house that weigh an ounce. So first of all, we have a ping pong ball. This ping pong ball is an ounce. That's pretty light. Maybe you don't have a ping pong ball at your house, but maybe you might have this AA battery. One AA battery weighs about an ounce. Still pretty light. If you have both of these, you can feel them. Something else that weighs about an ounce, one slice of bread. Maybe you have a slice of bread that you can go and just hold and say, oh, so that's what an ounce feels like. And then something I'm sure you might be able to find at your house, 6 sheets of paper. 6 sheets of paper put together, the number 6 here to show you, would be about an ounce. So here are some things that maybe you can find one or more at your house so that you can feel what an ounce is like. It's very light. If I put an item that weighs an ounce on my scale, and you can see right now, this is my balance scale, and it's balanced. There's nothing in it. But if I put an item that weighs an ounce on one side, well, it's going to go down on that side. This one's heavier. The lighter one goes up because nothing's there. This is heavy. This 1 ounce stack of paper is heavier than nothing, of course. So I'll take my 1 ounce off and my scale will balance again. So 1 ounce is very light. Now, it takes 16 ounces to make a pound. I want to show you some pounds that I have. You might have these at your house. This is a pack of butter. 16 ounces make up this 1 pound pack of butter. And on my item here, down at the bottom, you can see the abbreviation, 16 ounces, there's the OZ for 1 pound, and there's the LB again. Remember, these abbreviations are different than the words. But that's what it looks like. Maybe you have a pack of butter at your house and you can feel how heavy a pound is. Here's some other things you might have. A box of pasta. This box of pasta, make sure you look because there are some boxes that weigh more, but this box of pasta says 1 pound on it. 1 and the abbreviation LB. This is 1 pound. Okay, maybe you can find that and feel how heavy a pound is. Well, of course, I had a 1 pound weight. It says it right here on the end, 1 pound. And one other thing that Mrs. Schultz found in her house, she found a bag of Mr. Schultz's coffee. And it hasn't been opened yet, it's brand new, and it says on it, 1 pound. So all of these items I found pretty quickly. Maybe you can look in your cabinets or your pantry in your kitchen and see what you can find. And then maybe you can put a 1 ounce item in a hand and a 1 pound item in a hand and pretend you're my balance scale. Which one would go up and which one would go down? Well, the heavier one is going to be down. I have an ounce and a pound. So which way would I balance? this way. My lighter one will be up. Let's try it on my balance scale. Here's my 1 ounce slice of bread. Here's my 1 pound box of pasta. Yes, it pushed it way down. And my 1 ounce slice of bread is right here in my little tray, and it's the side that is going up. Now, today, this is what you'll be doing. You're going to be looking at your worksheet 18.3. You have homework 18.3 and practice 18.3. And you will just be looking at items around your house and compare them with an ounce item or a pound item and see how heavy you think that they are. Now, you can estimate, and there might be some where they ask you to measure. And you might say, well, Mrs. Schultz, how can I measure? Well, maybe you have a scale at your house. It might not look like this. You might have a bathroom scale, one that you step on. You could measure that way. If you find out your weight and then you hold an item on it and get back on it, then you can do a little bit of math and find out how much that item weighs. If you don't have a bathroom scale and you don't have a kitchen scale, that's fine. Then just do some practicing with holding a 1 pound item or a 1 ounce item, and you be the scale. And do the best you can with your worksheet and doing some estimates. I would just love to see you practicing. Remember today, also look at your measurement jingle. I'd love for you to say the whole thing. I have the jingle on the YouTube channel. The part that we're especially working on today is the 3rd paragraph down. Measurement, measurement, continuing with weight. 16 ounces is a pound. 2,000 pounds is a ton. 1,000 grams is a kilogram. This is what we'll be learning about tomorrow. Kilograms and grams in our metric unit. We didn't talk about the 2,000 pounds equals a ton today. That is in U.S. customary. You heard the word pounds. That is a big weight. We have talked about tons in history this year when we've talked about how some of the rocks that the Egyptians would quarry and how much they would have weighed as they put them down the Nile and took them to the place where they would be building pyramids or statues with them. So if you remember, we've talked about how heavy that is. We're talking about much lighter units today, but you can remember 2,000 of these equals a ton. Okay, in closing today, boys and girls, I'd like you to remember, math is God's invention and man's discovery. Math is a language, and it's the language of science. Why don't you take a break and do your math worksheet, homework 18.3 and practice 18.3. And when you're done, come back and we'll do reading. Press pause. Welcome back, boys and girls. We're going to do reading now. I'd like for you to be looking at your poetry vocabulary list. This is the 2nd list. We were working on this last week when you did your alliteration. Today, we're going to work on a riddle. So let's read the definition. Riddle, a problem or a puzzle. You are given a clue and you have to guess what it is. For example, what goes up when the rain comes down? An umbrella. Often you will see riddles like this, where it's one question and then you get your answer. Maybe you've even come across riddles before and asked people about them, and they're pretty silly. We're going to work on writing a riddle this week, and we'll do it just a little differently. So I want to show you some examples of riddles that I have, and then we'll talk about what you're to do today. So Mrs. Schultz has some riddles. Let's look at this one first. Put your thinking caps on. I want you to be thinking about what the answer might be, but I'm also going to point out some other things. First of all, please notice there are 4 lines in this riddle. Let's look at the first line. It begins with a capital letter. I am a green ball that doesn't bounce. It ends with an end mark. Let's go to the next line. It begins with a capital letter. I'm good to eat, but not with a fork. It ends with an end mark. Let's go to the next line. I'd help teach the alphabet if I could talk. It ends with an end mark. Let's go to the fourth line. What am I? Capital letter. The correct end mark here is a question. So you have a 4-line riddle. Each line begins with a capital letter. Each line has an end mark. Lines 1, 2, and 3 are clues. They're clues about what you're describing. Line 4 asks, what am I? It asks the question for a person to guess the answer. So let's now read it all again and be thinking what maybe you might guess. I am a green ball that doesn't bounce. I'm good to eat, but not with a fork. I'd help teach the alphabet if I could talk. What am I? Do you have any ideas? Something that's a green ball, but it doesn't bounce. Something that's good to eat, but would be hard to do with a fork. And something that might be able to teach the alphabet if it could talk, but I guess it can't. I'll give you the answer. I'm going to write it down. The answer is a pea, like a green pea, a vegetable. It's a green ball. It doesn't bounce. It's good to eat, but boy, those are hard to eat with a fork. They're so little. You can't do it. And it would teach the alphabet if it could talk for the letter P, which sounds just like this word. Pretty clever, right? All right, let's look at another riddle. This one's a little different. Again, we have 4 lines. Each line begins with a capital letter and ends with an end mark. The last line is a question. Let's read it. I am an odd number. I am less than 10. Take away a letter and I become even. What number am I? Well, this is tricky. We know it's an odd number and we know it's less than 10. So, should we write out our odd numbers less than 10? 1, 3, 5, 7, and 9. Okay, so these are the odd numbers. These are the odd numbers less than 10. Take away a letter and I become even. Which one could we take away a letter from and it would become even? do you see? Oh, I wonder. Let's look at this word. Let's look at the word 7. If we take away the S, it becomes even. So I think we figured out the answer to our riddle. The number is 7. Hope you liked that riddle. I want you to notice that in each of these riddles, there are clues. Both of them start with I am. That's a good way to start describing something. You don't have to start that way, but it's a good way to start. You might say something, you might start by saying how something feels, what it looks like. You want to write descriptive clues, just one sentence at a time, and then a question. So 3 clues that are describing your item that you're thinking about. I have one more to show you, and then I'll tell you about what you're doing today. Here we go. Again, 4 lines, 3 clues with capital letters and end marks, and then a question. Here we go. With me, you can find cities. With me, you can find rivers. With me, you cannot find people. What am I? So what can you use to find cities and rivers, but not people? What do you think? I'm wondering if you thought about this as the answer. A map. That's what I was trying to get you to think about. So that was my riddle for that one. Well, I'd like you to look at the worksheet that you're going to do today. This is the paper that's going to be your rough draft for your riddle. And you're just working on your rough draft today. Let's look at the directions. Use this page as a rough draft to write your riddle. Number 1, complete 3 of the sentences below. These will serve as your clues for your riddle. Well, let's look below. Down here, I've given you some possibilities of ways you might want to start your clues. You can use any 3. They don't have to be in this order. You can start with I am, like I did in mine, but you don't have to. But just pick out 3 different ones. As you can see, these are going to describe it. You might be describing how something feels, what something looks like. Remember, I did that with the P. It looked like a green ball, but it didn't bounce. What it sounds like, where it might be found, or again, this is a way of describing it. I have red hair or long hair, curly hair. You're just finishing the sentence. I am a number or a pharaoh or a place you might travel to. These are just beginnings of sentences. So pick 3 and those will be your clues. Let's go back. Number 2, circle either what or who, depending on your riddle. So down here, which question is going to sound better? Are you going to ask, what am I? Or are you going to ask, who am I? Who, if you're talking about a person or describing a person for your riddle. Number 3, this is the part that is a little different than what I've shown you today, but you're going to write your answer upside down. If you look at the bottom of the page, I have the word answer. When you do your final copy, this is how you'll do it. You'll write your answer upside down. So you'll have to take your page and turn it around. You'll write your answer there. This is just training you for what you'll do tomorrow. So you have your 3 clues. You've picked out which question is correct, and then you've written your answer. You'll stop there for today. Tomorrow, you'll do your final copy. I hope you enjoy writing your riddle. Boys and girls, you might need to take a break right now to work on this. In just a moment that you can hit pause, and then if you are able to, go ahead and review your phonics and your spelling words. Have a great day. Boys and girls, let's go over our spelling words. Number 1, soil. S-O-I-L, soil. Coin. C-O-I-N, coin. Royal. R-O-Y-A-L, royal. Poison. P-O-I-S-O-N, poison. Broil. B-R-O-I-L, broil. Toy. T-O-Y, toy. Destroy. D-E-S-T-R-O-Y, destroy. Enjoy. E-N-J-O-Y, enjoy. Spoil. S-P-O-I-L, spoil. Toil. T-O-I-L, toil. Boys. B-O-Y-S, boys. Noise. N-O-I-S-E, noise. Point. P-O-I-N-T, point. Here. H-E-R-E, here. Here. H-E-A-R, here. Fair. F-A-I-R, fair. Fair. F-A-R-E, fair. Parents. P-A-R-E-N-T-S, parents. Moisture. M-O-I-S-T-U-R-E, moisture. Biology. B-I-O-L-O-G-Y, biology. Let's do our phonics. A-A-I-A-A-A-I-A-A. Spellings. A curve, E curve, I curve, O curve, U curve. Sound. E. Spellings. E mark, E-E, E blank E, E-A, blank Y, blank I-E, blank. Sound. Z. Spellings. Z blank S. Sound. Th. Other sound. V. Spellings. T-H. Sound. I. Spellings. I mark, I blank E, blank I-G-H, blank Y, blank I-E. Sound. N. Spellings. N-K-N blank. Sound. Sh. Spellings. S-H blank T-I blank blank C-I blank. V plural rule. Change the F to a V and add blank E-S. Plural rule. When a word ends in S, SS, X, SH, CH, or Z, you add blank ES. Y plural rule. Change the Y to an I and add blank ES. Sound. A. Spellings. A mark, A blank E, A-I blank, blank A-Y. Schwa sound. Spellings. A dot, E dot, O dot. Sound. O. Spellings. O mark, O blank E, O-A blank, blank O-W, blank O-E. Sound. R. Spellings. R-W-R blank. Sound. Ooh. Spellings. Double O mark, 2 dot U, U blank E, blanky W, blank UE. Sound U. Spellings U mark, U blanky, blanky W, blank UE. Sound Spellings ERIRUR. Sound F. Spellings FPH and sometimes GH. Sound K. Spellings CK blank CK. Sound M. Spellings M blank MB. Sound NK. Spellings blank NK. Sound NG. Spelling blank NG. Signal letters EIY. Sound S. Spellings CE, CI, CY. Sound J. Spellings GE, GI, GY, blank DGE. Sound X. Spellings X blank CKS. Sound E. Spellings E curve, EA curve. Sound Ch. Spellings CH blank TCH. Sound W. Spellings WH blank. Sound Qu. Spellings QU. Sound OW. Spellings OWOU blank. Sound R. Spelling AR. Sound OR. Spelling OR. Sound AW. Spelling AWAU blank double dot A. Double dot A will be found in spellings like double dot ALK, double dot ALL, double dot ALT. Sound OI. Spellings OI blank, blank OY.